How to turn a single football into a work of art. Here are the masters who have elevated ball control and dribbling into pure artistry, the true footballing jugglers. Ronaldo. Oh, fenomeno. Perhaps the pioneer on this list, Ronaldo did things once deemed impossible. In his era of one-dimensional players, speedy wingers, towering center-backs, target forwards, and sprinters, he was the first true full package, a multifunctional phenom. His goal-scoring instincts were legendary, but it was his dribbling, his control, and the sheer novel audacity of his play that earned him the nickname Fenomeno. You'll find echoes of his style in every player on this list. He set the template. Ironically, it was one of his signature moves that led to the serious injury that slowed him down. Ronaldinho. We may have seen players with bigger careers or finer technique, but none as flamboyant as Ronaldinho. His game felt like a fusion of football and samba. Even with his body turned sideways at 45 degrees, he'd glide forward with the ball as if it were magnetized to his foot. Then, add a little bit of his magic on every pass, assist, or goal. His most famous trick, the elastico, also called the flip-flap or snake move, became the stuff of legend. In video games, he had his own dribbling and free kick animations. He arrived, dazzled the world, then, perhaps bored, decided he didn't need to keep trying so hard. Kaká. Few commanded the ball like Kaká. His style was unique. He looked as though he might lose the ball at any moment, yet it stuck to him like it was tethered by an invisible string. Before injuries slowed him, he was astonishingly fast. With the ball at his feet, defenders wouldn't dare tackle him, let alone touch him. Stealing the ball from Kaká was like trying to catch a small fish in water. No matter how quick you think you are, you're always a fraction slower. Franck Ribéry. During his years in Turkey, Ribéry earned the nickname Ferrari for good reason. He could go from zero to maximum speed in the blink of an eye, catching defenders off guard whenever he accelerated. He had no set repertoire. Whether hugging the sideline or cutting inside, his football intelligence allowed him to beat opponents anywhere in the attacking third. Mesut Ozil. The virtuoso, every touch from Ozil carries grace and subtlety, as if he were born clutching a football. He combines vision and technique in a way few can match. His fox-like gaze is always plotting the next unlock, and with the gentlest flick of his wrists, he can bend the ball anywhere. What's more, despite his flair, he often prefers the assist over the glory of scoring himself, making him one of just a handful of world-class creators. Ricardo Quaresma. One of the game's most stylistic players, Quaresma may well be the world's best exo-foot dribbler. His weak foot hardly mattered. Whether he was on the outside or cutting in, he burned defenders with rabonas and trivelas. If he wasn't in the mood or got sent off, you'd be relieved. Otherwise, containing Q7 was nearly impossible. Douglas Costa. A consummate dribbler, Costa is deadly when given space but equally tricky in tight quarters. His first touch is flawless. He seems to know exactly where the ball will land before it even arrives. He's blisteringly quick, and whenever he slows, you expect a mind-boggling feint next. Isco. The Spanish star's technique is immaculate, as though magnets on his boots keep the ball glued to his feet. He's both naturally gifted and surprisingly quick, with rapid turns as his hallmark. Defending him is a fool's errand. He never lets the ball stray far and touches it dozens of times in seconds, leaving opponents trailing in his wake. Paulo Dybala, the golden boy. Dybala has a unique dribbling style. Unlike many wide players who hinge back to protect the touchline, he thrives in central areas, essential in Italy's defensive leagues. His favorite trick is the nutmeg, slipping the ball through an opponent's legs. And despite his slight frame, he absorbs challenges with impeccable balance. Facing him one-on-one, you're left hoping to foul him before he reaches the danger zone, because trying to stay in front of Dybala is a losing battle. Arjen Robben. Although he suffered many injuries, Robben always managed to keep his career alive. The Dutch star, who almost exclusively used the right wing, had a distinctive style. He dribbled by nudging the ball with the outside of his left foot. His trademark was cutting in from the right and firing into the far corner with that same left foot. Yet, even though you could predict exactly what he'd do, stopping Robin was anything but easy. He was a master of this move. Another standout quality was that he never slowed down while dribbling. Even in the split seconds before making his cut, he kept full pace, giving no hint of his next touch. Staying in front of Robin was nearly impossible. He needed only the tiniest sliver of space to unleash that signature strike. Eden Hazard. When the Belgian moved to Real Madrid, it was as if someone had erased all his gifts. Before that transfer, his most striking feature wasn't his feet, but his body movement. He was always one step ahead of opponents. How? He could shift the angle and position of his body in an instant, making it almost impossible to read his next action. His gaze never lingered on the ball, but always on the defenders. If he spotted even the smallest corridor, he'd mold his body to slip right through. Moving through opponents seemed coined for Hazard. He was arguably the world's best at shielding the ball. While he desired, the ball belonged to him alone. When he arrived in Madrid, all of that vanished. Neymar. A true magician, Neymar's range of tricks with a football seems limitless. The biggest mistake you can make is letting Neymar face your goal with the ball at his feet. He's incredibly athletic and elastic, always looking like he's out there just to have fun. Yet his idea of fun can be merciless. Before long, his dribbles become infuriating, even humiliating, for defenders, often earning him heavy blows and injuries. There really is no fixed position for him. He's not a classic number 10, nor a pure winger, just an attacker. To get the best out of him, you can't chain him to a role. Set him free, and he'll drift where he feels most at ease. You don't tell a magician how to perform his magic. Messi. The first thing to say about Messi's style is that he keeps the ball no farther away from his foot than only he can reach. He's not someone who latches onto the ball and sprints off. Instead, he taps and nudges it like an artist coaxing an instrument to sing. He has twisted wrists, left defenders helpless countless times. But, in my view, the real secret isn't only his talent, his speed, or his vision. What makes Messi is that he almost never makes the wrong decision. You won't find another player so gifted who also treasures every touch, never wasting a single one. His mind works like a program calculating the highest probability outcome. I could speak for hours about him, and it still wouldn't be enough to capture the full scope of his genius. He makes everything look so effortless, so controlled, that it often feels like every defender he faces is just an 8 or 9-year-old. That effortless mastery cements him as the greatest in football history. Lamine Yamal. At just 17, Yamal has already established himself as one of football's most mesmerizing dribblers, gliding past opponents with a first touch so precise it magnetizes the ball to his boot. His low center of gravity and lightning-quick feints enable him to toy with markers, shifting his balance to send them wrong-footed. In one breathtaking sequence against Alaves, he evaded 6 defenders in a single run that drew Messi comparisons across the globe. If he maintains this meteoric progression, stays injury-free, and hones his decision-making under pressure, he has every right to stake a claim as the world's best player one day. However, as legends like Fabio Capello warn, declaring him the next Messi is still premature. His story has only just begun.